Good morning. Okay. Sorry, I had an emotional connection this morning to my spiritual passage of the day and the way my morning was going. So, anyway, I haven't done this in a long time. Do my readings, and I want to get back to this. Summer's coming up, and I love my dailies. I'm getting ready to turn 47. 47. I don't understand how that's possible. Okay, so when I started this book a long time ago, it was because I had a curiosity, because I had heard about this book that was wrote, in 18 blah, blah, blah. And I hope he doesn't do that the whole time. Clyde, if you do, I'm going to have to put you up, darling. Get away from the window. Come on. Good boy. Sit down. Sit. Good boy. So anyway, the book just brought interest because it had been written in the 1800s, late 1800s, and it had all these like weird connections to, or references to things that were present day. Like, the book was named The Barron Trump Collection, and it had to do with a little boy named the Baron. I don't even remember now. Anyway, so I've been reading the book, and then I got away from it. And today is February 16th of 2026. The world, who knows where we'll be tomorrow. So I figure, why not get back to the book? Let's find out how this MFR ends, right? Okay, so I need a pencil. Hold on. I need a pencil right here. Well, shit. You back? Okay, we're going to start the book. This is called The Barron Trump Collection. This is chapter 14, page 264. And we've got a few pages left to go. 264. We saw like another 100 pages. Okay. So let's start. Okay. Chapter 14. Bulger and I turn our backs on the fair domain of Queen Crystallina, nature's wonderful speaking tube. Crystallina's attempt to turn us back, how I kept Bulger from yielding, some incidents of our journey along the marble highway, and how we came to the glorious gateway of solid silver. Me, the sorrowing Sebastian, loaded with as heavy a heart as ever a mortal of my size had borne away with him, did the wise Bulger lead along the broad and silent highway, further and yet farther from the city of the Mickaminkies, until at last the music of the fountains pattering in their crystal basins died away in the distance, and the darkness far behind me. I felt that my wise little brother was right, and so I followed on after, with not a sigh or a syllable to stay him. But he halted at last, and as I felt about me, I discovered that I was standing beside one of the richly carved seats that one so often meets with along the marble highway. I was quite a foot weary, as I was heart heavy, and reaching out, I touched the spring, which I knew would transform the seat into a bed, and clambering upon it with my wise Bulger nestled beside me, I soon fell into a deep and refreshing sleep. When I awoke and, sitting up, looked back toward Queen Crystallina's capital. I could see the river of light pouring down its flood of white rays far away in the distance, but only a faint reflection came out to where we had passed the night, and then I knew that my faithful companion had led me to the very uttermost limit of the Mickey domain before he had halted. Yes, sure enough, for as I raised my eyes, there towering above the bed stood the slender crystal column which marked the end of Goggle Land, and upon its face I read the extract from a royal decree forbidding a Mickey to overstep this limit under pain of incurring the Queen's most serious displeasure. Before me was darkness and uncertainty. Behind me lay the fair kingdom of the transparent folk, yet in sight, lighted up like a long line of happy homes in which the fires were blazing bright and warm on the hearthstones. Did I turn back? Did I hesitate? No. I could see a pair of speaking eyes fixed upon me, and could hear a low whine of impatience coaxing me along. Stooping down, I fastened a bit of silken cord taken from the bed to Bulger's collar and bade him lead the way. It was a long while before the light of Queen Crystallina's city faded away entirely, and even when it ceased to be of any service in making known to me the grandeur and beauty of the vast underground passage, I could still see it glitter like a silver star away, away behind me. But it disappeared at last, and then I felt that I had parted forever with the dear little princess with the speck in her heart. Bulger didn't seem to have the slightest difficulty in keeping in the center of Marble Highway, and never allowed the leading string to slack up for a moment. However, it was by no means a tramp through the utter darkness, for the lizards of which I had already spoken, aroused by the sound of my footfalls, snapped their tails and lighted up their tiny flash torches in eager attempts to discover whence the noise proceeded and what sort of a being it was that had invaded their silent domains. We had covered possibly 2 leagues when suddenly a low and mysterious voice, as soft and gentle as if it had dropped from the clear, starry heaven of my own beautiful world, reached my ear. "Sebastian, Sebastian," it murmured. Before I could stop to think, I uttered a cry of wonder, and the noise of my voice seemed to awaken 10,000 of the tiny living flashlights inhabiting the cracks and crevices of the vast arched corridor, flooding it for a moment or so with a soft and roseate radiance. "Sebastian, Sebastian," again it murmured, the mellow and echo-like voice coming from the very walls of rock beside me. Hastily drawing nearer to the spot whence the words seemed to come, I laid my ear against the smooth face of the rock. Again the soft, sighing voice pronounced my name so clearly and so close beside me that I reached out to grasp Crystallina's hand, for hers was the voice, the same low, sweet voice that had told me of her sorrow in the spectral garden. But there was no one there. In reaching out, however, I had passed my left hand along the face of the wall, and it had marked the presence of a round, smooth opening in its rocky face, an opening about the size of a rainwater pipe in the upper world. Instantly it flashed upon my mind, through some whim of nature, this opening extended for leagues back towards the city of the Mickeys, through the miles of solid rock, and opened in the very throne room of Princess Crystallina. Yes, I was right. For a moment or so, the same low, sweet voice came through the speaking tube of nature's own making and fell upon my eager ear. I waited until it had ceased, and setting my mouth in front of the opening, I murmured in strong, gentle tones, "Farewell, my dear Crystallina. Bulger and the little baron Farewell, dear Princess Crystallina. Bulger and the little baron both bid thee a long farewell. And then raising Bulger in my arms, I bade him weep for his royal friend, whom he would never see again. He gave a long, low, piteous cry, half whine, half howl, and then I listened for Crystallina's voice. It was not long in coming. Farewell, farewell, dear Bulger, farewell, dear Sebastian. Crystallina will never forget you until her poor heart with a speck in it runs down and the crystal throne knows her no more. Poor Bulger. Poor Bulger. It now became my turn to tear him from this spot, for Crystallina's voice, sounding thus unexpectedly in his ears, had aroused all the deep affection in which he had ruthlessly smothered in order to bring his little master to his senses and free him from the charm of Crystallina's grace and beauty. But in vain. All my strength, all my entreaties were powerless to move him from the place. Evidently, Crystallina had heard me pleading with Bulger and had imagined that now I would waver and stand irresolute. Heed, dear Bulger's prayer, O beloved, she pleaded. Turn back to thy desolate, my disconsolate Crystallina, whom thou madest so happy for a brief moment. Turn back, oh turn back. Bulger now began to whine and cry piteously. I felt that something must be done at once, where the most direful consequences might ensue, that Bulger, crazed by the sweet tones of Crystallina's voice, might break away from me and dart away in mad race back to the city of the Mickeys, back to the fair young queen of the crystal throne. It became necessary for me to resort to trick and artifice to save my dear little brother from his own loving heart. Drawing his head up against my body and covering his eyes with his left arm, dear Lord. Drawing his head up against my body and covering his eyes with my left arm, I quickly unloosened my neckerchief and thrusting it into his wonderful speaking tube, closed it effectively. Into this wonderful speaking tube, closed it effectively, and thus I saved my faithful Bulger from himself. Thus I closed my ears to the music of Crystallina's voice, but it was not until after a good hour's waiting that he could bring himself to believe that his beloved friend would speak no more. After several hours more of journeying along the marble highway, a speck of light caught my eye, far on ahead, and I redoubled my pace to reach it quickly. I was soon rewarded for my trouble by entering a wonderful chamber, circular in form. Well, the sound doesn't go off at all, did it? Okay. That's where we're at today, kids. We'll start there tomorrow. I haven't read the book in a while. Oh! This. Haha. Haha. Forgot this part. I wrote this in 2020. 2021. Quit procrastinating on anything and everything. Time wasted is just that, wasted. Avoid distractions and the noise around me. Block it out. The art of continuous self-love through food, through water intake, through intentional meditation and thought. Something inside of me is superior to circumstance. Is it kind? Is it true? Does it reflect my authentic self? Focus more on money and its education. Focus more on self-discipline. See the sun, honor the moon. Forward momentum. The path out of hell is through misery. Honor my journey. We are slaves to our own incessant urges to escape the present moment. Meditate, walk, journal, stretch, love animals, leave life to wonder all it needs. Less stress, more fairy tale. Work on bettering the love I show my body through the food and beverage I put in it. With money, it's not what you make, but what you keep. Focus. Lose any ties to victim mentality. Continue to help yourself. Dang, I needed to read that again, didn't I? My glasses, sorry. I'm going to the eye doctor in April. And when I was a kid, I used to have to wear bifocals. But it doesn't matter if I'm wearing my contacts or my glasses or what the hell I'm wearing. I can't see. I can't read. So I think I'm going to have to get bifocals. All right. I'm tired. I haven't even started the day. But I love it. Thank you, Lord, for letting me live another day. All right, bye.